Welcome, everyone, to Thunder Valley, race 14 of the HTL Cup Series from Bristol, Tennessee, the last great Coliseum, the concrete jungle, Bristol Motor Speedway for the daytime event here in Bristol Raceway. We're glad you're with us for what should be a very fun night of racing. The cars are set. Technical issues, for the most part, have been subsided. We'll get through tonight's race, as everyone will, for what should be a very jam-packed event. Again, we're glad you're with us here for what should be a very, very wild time. As you can see, we're still dealing with some technical issues as far as cars go, as far as paint schemes go. So bear with us for a moment as we try to get all of that taken care of. Basically everything updated with the new build for 2026, and some things pretty broken. So let's go ahead and let's jump in to our starting grid in tonight's race. Tommy Reynolds and Bren Roberts front of the field. Austin Mongold, Cody Pinnell making up row number 2. Row number 3, again, all the graphics and everything still kind of broke, so we're still working on fixing it. But Flores and Baxter in row 3. One of Baxter's best qualifying efforts, he's improving. Eli Sasek, Lily Frazier in row 4. Row 5, Davis Milne Jr. and Olivia Pereira getting ready to go racing here. At your top 10, Blake Henderson, Dale Markowski in row number 6 as we get ready to go. Mark Kissenweather, Zach Apperson, row 7. Row 8, Hunter Peach and Josh Arnold ahead of Casey Wygent and Lewis Sharp to make up row 9. Your top 20 earmarked by John Matthews, the rookie, and Byron Jones, who starts 20th. Zach Meredith, Caitlin Height in row 11. Chad Swatsworth, Josh Susi, row 12. Brady Smith, and Tucker Sawyer, row 13. Row 14, Callie Height and Bailey Thompson. Stephen Oberstadt and Gary Donaldson, row 15. Dustin Hall and Christina Ryan, row 16. Jason Scott and Chelsea Carter, row 17. Bobby Flowers and Richard Odie, row number 18. Oberstadt, Alfred Denny, row 19. And they make up the end of your field as we get ready to go racing here. Paint schemes slowly coming into view. We've been dealing with a lot of technical issues here tonight, but it is time for us to get down to business in a very key way. The car is rolling around the racetrack at the moment for those joining us. A lot of technical issues. We are working through them as we go along. Stages for short track racing here at Bristol, lap 50 and lap 125. It is Zach Meredith at the front of the field. The green flag flies, and away we go. Opening laps in the books already. 2 laps done as Meredith starts lap 3 as the race leader ahead of Josh Susi. Car sort of spanned out throughout the place right now. Richard Odie falling backwards quite a bit. It is Zach Meredith that leads the way at the moment. Single file as everyone figures things out. This is the first race on the new iRacing build update. Brought back a version of dynamic track. Everyone's kind of been playing around with a sort of in-between as everything gets refreshed and ready for the new year. Rubber build-up, very important. Track heat, not quite as important. The combination of the two is where the sweet spot is found. And you're seeing that right now. Everyone finding the grip at the bottom of the racetrack and staying there right now as you'll see as the race goes along here across 250 laps, is making the most of the situation and then pressuring mistakes from those around you to make passes. Going to be a lot more of a traditional Bristol race in that regard, but not in a bad way. Tire wear expected to be pretty high in the race here today. Car in pit lane is Olivia Pereira, down in 37th place. First 8 laps in the books of 250. There was a lot of concern, though, with how everything changed with these cars. These cars, in general, a little bit slower because it's not so important with the track temp. It's all about rubber buildup. So these cars will get a little bit faster as the run goes along, but these cars are also at their worst right now. That's going to make things very interesting to see how as everything plays along here and who decides to be bold and try different lanes. We're going to see a lot of that in play, a lot of the ebb and flow, a lot of the give and take. Josh Soucy getting to figure things out, gets a little loose there immediately. And caution is out. And it is for the 87 of Callie Height. Let's see what happened to the British driver. A little loose, steps out a little bit out of turn 4. Does he get loose again? Not through turn 2 that time, rolling back around through 3 and 4. Just more and more loose out of turn 4 as the weight unloads out of 4. It's a little bit finicky. Everyone does a great job avoiding. And so the first caution of the night is a single car spin. And Callie Height gets to live to see another day. Something that she unfortunately did not get to see at Sebring a week ago. The car is now in pit lane. Callie Height among them. And a decent chunk staying out with track position being so critical. Again, apologies for some of the technical issues. We're going to be saying that throughout the night because there are just some issues. We're down. We usually have 2 systems running to manage our overlays. One of the systems are currently down. We don't have them at all tonight. We won't have them until next Monday when we head to Daytona. That's unfortunate. We apologize for that. So we're making do with the single system we have at the moment, trying to just piece all of that together and learning as we go. Also, some of the information on the overlay itself is incorrect, mostly on the car number side of things. Christina Ryan not in the 21, in the number 80 tonight. Alfred Denny back in his 21 car after Ryan filled in for him at Sebring a week ago. Both of them on the racetrack tonight. Christina Ryan didn't set a qualifying lap time in that number 80 machine. Dustin Hall missed the start of the race. He's on the racetrack now in 38th, 10 laps down. Olivia Pereira damaged early, 7 laps down at the moment. Josh Arnold a lap down after making contact with the wall as well. Most part, everything else pretty well correct here. So we'll kind of just leave it as is. If you're wondering, the 221s are right next to each other in row 13 on this restart. Christina Ryan in 25th, Alfred Denny in 26th for the 221s. For those wanting to play a little bit of blackjack at home, follow along with us here tonight. 2 races left in the regular season. We are down to Bristol tonight and then the Firecracker 400 next Monday. Then we're off for the holiday break. So it is go time for the field as the green flag flies. First restart underway, and Zach Meredith, as he did on the opening start, gets a good run in trouble. Soucy up in the fence. And immediately the second caution comes out, and I believe it was off the nose of Byron Jones. So this is Josh Soucy, and we'll take a look at how this restart plays out, because he gets sort of walloped here. We'll take a look from the spotter cam high above. The spotter stand here, better than most places, can gather a very good look at the entire field. Meredith got a really good run. Susie did not get a fast restart. Susie tried closing the door on Byron Jones. Byron Jones was not going to lift, and you see the contact as everyone checks up further back. That was the 21 of Alfred Denny, the yellow and red car. Got a little bit of contact there from Bailey Thompson. There was trouble up ahead as well. Byron Jones just kind of sitting it in there. Far on board on this restart for you. As we're under our second caution of the night. This time a little bit more involved than the single car spin we had for our first caution. Byron Jones ready on board. Meredith got going. Byron Jones, his teammate, got a decent enough restart to try to close the gap. Desperation is 100% real for those out of the playoffs. Byron Jones, one of them that needs a win to have a chance to make the playoffs. Josh Susie already in with his win at Pocono. Zach Meredith, we talked about his 2 race wins at Charlotte and Kentucky. The teammates will now be side by side in row 1. Mark Kissenweather and Blake Henderson make up row number 2 for this restart. Flag is back out here for this the second restart of the night, with 38 cars now having taken the green flag in some way, shape, or form. Pereira still on pit lane. Dustin Hall is rolling. So is Josh Arnold. Laps down at the moment. Josh Arnold was your free pass recipient last time. He got one of those 4 laps back. And you see the field as they roll around the racetrack here. Does not take long to do a lap at Bristol Motor Speedway in the slightest. Average lap time sitting in the 15.4s as things sit under green flag conditions. Means you're getting just under 4 laps a minute here at Bristol when you're running green. Meredith in the way. Byron Jones in second place. Mark Kissenweather, Caitlin Height has moved her way up into the 4th spot, ahead of Blake Henderson. Caitlin Hart restarted 5th. It's Henderson, Apperson, their teammates for Tombstone Motorsports. Apperson, a race winner this season at Talladega. Henderson looking for his first race win in HTL in over 3 years. Cody Bennell 7th. Tommy Reynolds in the 29 car, filling in full-time for Austin Mongold in 8th. Steven Obersat 9th. Hunter Peach in 10th. Austin Mongold is in this race. He is in the 92 car for Sideswipe Racing. As a one-off entry, he's currently 24th in the field, though, as things currently stand. That was trouble for Shad Swatsworth. Taking a look here as he drops down the order, now being passed by Denny for 21st. Car 21 in P21. But Swatsworth got a little loose. We've seen turn 4 be a bit of the devil's kiss, and you saw the puff of smoke showing that there was issues before that point with Swatsworth. But not enough of an issue to draw a caution, which would have been our 3rd of the night if it had happened. Again, we're looking at from high above. One of the best angles of the house is up here above the broadcast tower and above the grandstands. This last great Coliseum, a unique experience that not many places internationally will ever be able to provide. You see Zach Meredith taking on and trying to pass That is Ross Baxter to put him a lap down. Ross Baxter in 35th now goes a lap down and becomes the first car a lap down, just in time for the caution to come out and for Ross Baxter to earn that position back. And it is a multi-car crash in turns 3 and 4 that draws the yellow flag. On board here with Bobby Blowers. Actually, sorry, on board with Tucker Sawyer. Let's see if we can get on board with Bobby Blowers. He was in the incident, found the epicenter, and we'll see what he's got. Went back about 50 seconds in the good old time frame. Got passed by Elias Flores. Does he get helped, or is it all in front of him? No, it's because Flores blinked out. A little bit of latency there for Flores. Sends the 91 around. And we'll show a little bit more of that from an outside angle as Blowers and Flores battered it out here. Third caution of the night. Remember, stage 1 ends on lap 50. It's a pretty short stage, and you see what happened here. 3 wide. And Lily Peltier Sharp got a piece of the action as well. And sends Bowers all the way to the back of the field. And an unfortunate situation there that could have been a lot worse. Instead, all 3 cars were able to drive around and get themselves collected back in the field, and Ross Baxter prevents Josh Arnold from getting one of his laps back here. Pit stops. A little bit more inconsequential as this run goes along. A lot of cars staying out here, and they will try to do so as this run continues to push along. The reason why, you don't need to really pit until the end, until stage 3. 140 to 155 laps is the fuel mileage. Tire wear is the bigger concern. But stage 2 ends on lap 125. You can theoretically control yourself and stay out the entire first 2 stages if you so choose. So who will choose to do so is the next pretty pertinent question. Teammates front row once again for this third upcoming restart. It is once again pole sitter Zach Meredith in control. Green flag flies. Mark Kissenweather, really good restart for the 2 car. Trying to break up the teammate camaraderie at the front of the field to no avail. Byron Jones stays second. Kissenweather and Caitlin Height third and fourth. Blake Henderson rounding out your top 5 on that restart. They stay as they restarted to complete lap 36. Cody Pinellas dropped a couple spots, stuck on the outside lane. As we mentioned, rubber in parts of the track surface is very important. You don't want to go up the racetrack. There's no grip there. You lose a lot of speed there. Very a la realistic current Bristol. You do not want to spend too much time up in the gray area of the racetrack. You want to spend your time closer to the yellow line at the bottom of the racetrack when you can. Cody Pinellas starting up on the outside lane in the 4th row. Didn't get such opportunity, and now, as a result, punished outside the top 10. As Meredith continues to lead the way, Byron Jones acting as a bit of a bodyguard, despite the fact that Byron Jones is in must-win territory to try to have a chance at the playoffs. Coast to Coast Racing has been the Zach Meredith show this season. His teammates have not lived up to the expectations that he has provided. And you see that with Caitlin Height outside lane to get around Byron Jones and Mark Kissenweather. And new runner-up spot is Caitlin Height, and here comes Blake Henderson up to 3rd. And that shows you the pace difference. The outside lane, as we mentioned, slower here at Bristol right now. And everyone using it to get around Byron Jones, who is trying to keep that car underneath of him. He has not been as confident in his teammate at the front of the field. Trouble further back. Apperson in the fence. And we've got trouble. Fourth caution, Hunter Peach involved as well. And it gets a little bit dicey. Let's see if we can get a replay of this. What happened further back in the running order? Zach Apperson from the top 10. That's a little bit of help. A little bit of help, I believe, from Tommy Reynolds from 29. Not a great look there, unfortunately. So we do apologize for that. You have a spotter cam, handy dandy spotter cam here. Again, keep an eye on the 4 and the 29. Yeah, I got a little bit of help there. Apperson checked up just a little bit. And at this racetrack, that is an easy way to get spun around with nowhere to go. And that's exactly what happened there. So back in real pictures, Apperson's still on pit lane. Zach Meredith leads the way over Kaylin Height, who had a really brave move to get the second place here. She will be outside front row. Henderson, Kissenweather, and Jones rounds out your top 5 at the moment. And this restart should be the one that gets us to the end of stage number 1. So as we get ready to go back racing, Zach Meredith continues to lead the way and control the restart, and another great restart from the second row as well. Henderson right there and cautions out immediately, and that ends the stage. And the trouble is further back in the running order. And it looks like Jason Scott might be the cause for this one. Jason Scott in the 74 car. Did he get assistance or did he spin it on his own? He got turned by his teammate, Brady Smith. So Jason Scott, nothing he can do, getting clobbered from the passenger side. We'll take another look here. Yeah, Brady Smith just sort of spins it in first gear and just nowhere for Jason Scott to go, and likewise nowhere for anyone behind them to go. And stage 1, instead of ending with a little bit of a flurry, ends with a whimper. And we instead move on to the 75 lap second stage coming up. See Jason Scott coming down pit lane for a safety check here. Just checking to see if everything on that car is where it needs to be and as it needs to be. Lights are out on the pace car for what has been a very interesting stage one that is now in the books. Zach Meredith grabs another stage win. Blake Henderson, second place for him. Mark Kissenweather really sharp in row 2. Billy Thompson and Davis Muir Jr. row number 3 is how things currently sit. Pace car pulls in. Green flag flies, and away we go. Side by side for second place. Henderson trying to drive his way into the front. Defends from Kissenweather. Henderson really putting the power on, trying to find a way around the 17 of Meredith on this restart. Pit stops still have not been held by any of the top 8 at the moment, from Meredith down to Alfred Denning. They've all made up the top 8 here. Those are the drivers right now that are looking at the fuel window. They're looking at the 140 to 155, and caution number 5 is out. It's the 23 of Chelsea Carter that has found the wrong way around for what is our 5th caution tonight. So let's take a look at what happened to Chelsea Carter. This is in AV in slow motion, quarter speed. Carter up in the 23, gets loose on the unload here, bounces off of Caitlin Height. No. Avoids Caitlin Height, but spins in front of Patrick Oberstadt and Byron Jones. Jones gets a piece. Seems like Carter keeps it largely up the racetrack here and allows everyone ample space to get away. And that is exactly what happens. Chelsea Carter ends up avoiding most of the damage that could have been possible there. And the 5th caution of the day, power's on. But we talked about it, the outside lane, not a pleasant place to be for that reason. No grip up there. You get loose, and there's just no way of saving it. And so the top 8 remain the top 8 without a pit stop and trying to stay that way across the entirety of stage 2. Track position has been the critical mass of this race so far. Meredith has led every single lap so far. We've completed 56 of them. And, I mean, it doesn't take a lot of rocket science to show Zach Meredith has just been out and in charge of this race. There's been a lot of runner-ups in this race so far that have cycled their way through. His teammate Byron Jones, Josh Susie, who got spun earlier. Henderson has been up there now. Mark Kissenweather's been up there for a second. But no one has figured out how to quite get around the 17 just yet. Henderson had a really good shot, but it couldn't pan out. We'll see how that plays off here. The more that you fight like that, the more your tires wear. That is a universal truth as well. And so these drivers have to kind of keep that really in check here as they look at the long game and keep that in play. 33 cars on the lead lap. Brady Smith, the first car a lap down. Josh Arnold, 6 laps down. Dustin Hall, 13 laps down. The green flag flies. Zach Meredith in control. Blake Henderson looking for an opportunity. Will not find one here. Here comes Lily Sharp. The 19 is Sharp, the French-born driver. Looking for second for a moment. Won't get it. Does get clear of Kissenweather for just a moment. And will stay clear for just a moment. Top 6 under a microscope. The gaps between them. Oh, huge contact with the wall there with Sharp, though. You cannot afford too many of those here in the last great Coliseum. But everyone knows the front of the field, you got to push the pace. Henderson tags the wall this time. A lot more gentle of a touch compared to Sharp's just the lap before. There is a gap the further down you go. Christina Ryan trying to just navigate and manage in her number 80 Ford Mustang. She's sitting ahead of Caitlin Height, the two friends, teammates in Hyper Formula, teammates in Super Formula, and in open wheels. Not teammates right now. Sitting 7th and 8th on the racetrack. Caitlin Height, first of those that have made a pit stop so far in this race, and Christina Ryan not fighting that battle too awful much. Knows the longevity game is the answer at play. Sitting in an open car, this is helping her eligibility. With this race start, she is now eligible for the HTL Brickyard 400 after the new year. So everything beyond where she's at right now is a pretty significant bonus. Trouble further back, Alfred Denny in the 21 car, tagged the inside wall. No caution, kept it off the racetrack, and we'll keep that 21 car rolling, but we'll drop down all the way to 22nd. And you're going to see that as this race continues to go along, as the track cools down, as more rubber's laid down, the outer groove will be harder and harder to drive on. But the sweet spot will also be harder to find with the amount of rubber being laid down on the bottom of the racetrack. Meredith been passed by Henderson when we were focusing on the issue at hand with Alfred Denny. Blake Henderson, now your race leader. You're watching the battle for second as Meredith tries to defend from Lily Sharp. All of the top four have yet to make a pit stop here. Really, all the top five have yet to make a pit stop here. Caitlin Height in 6th, the first of those with a pit stop in hand. And Meredith beginning to fall back. The tires beginning to give way. Blake Henderson under green flag conditions for the first time since Daytona and Atlanta leads the way. In that number 25 machine for Tombstone Motorsports, trying to join his teammate Apperson as a race winner this season. He has had a pretty significant climb this season, as low as 39th in points. Earlier this season has climbed himself into the top 16, but without a race win, vulnerable to the wild card, which right now his teammate Bailey Thompson would knock him out of the playoffs entering this race. A race win for Henderson would not only end a 3-year winless drought, but would also punch his ticket into the playoffs with a race to spare. Henderson leads over Sharp, Meredith Kissenweather, and Caitlin Height at the moment. Christina Ryan has plummeted out of the top 10, passed by Steven Oberstadt in that 3 car, and now getting passed by Tommy Reynolds. And caution has come out. And is that who I think it is? It 100% is who I think it is. Blake Henderson, your race leader from the lead of this race. There is some damage on the 25 car. I do not have a full understanding as to how bad it is, but we will take a look. So let's take a giant shot here from Blake Henderson. Getting through lap traffic here, trying to get around Chelsea Carter. Got around Gary Donaldson. Donaldson, his teammate, not going to give him much of an issue here. What happens with Blake Henderson, though, because this issue, you have cars trying to stay on the lead lap, Brady Smith, Chelsea Carter, and that's what happened. Chelsea Carter loose again, and this time takes out the race leader. That is exactly what happened. It has been a very rough couple of weeks for Chelsea Carter. Had a very abysmal Sebring and has not done any favors for herself here in Thunder Valley. Just gets loose again, outside lane. Willie Sharp also gets a pretty significant piece of it as well. So both your top two cars prior to the caution now with some significant concerns. And we are not yet to halfway here in Bristol. And for Blake Henderson, this is a summary of his season in a pretty unfortunate nutshell. If it's not for bad luck, there'd be no luck at all. He is down in the 14th spot, so pit stops have prevented some of the damage that could have been. Your front of the field is car 92, Austin Mongold, Chad Swatsworth in second, Tommy Reynolds in third, Eli Sasek fourth, Richard Odie in your top five. We're going to step aside for a second as they get ready to go back racing. Stay tuned for more racing here from Bristol. Getting ready to go back racing here in Bristol. After the race leaders involved in issues with lap traffic, green flag flies. It's Austin Mongold at the front of the field. His teammate, Tommy Reynolds, behind him, and his car. And they sit 1-2. Mongold leads the way. He is in a one-off car, that 92 car, not a permanent fixture. 29 car is. The 29 car tags the wall, closed the door on Chad Swatsworth, who will not appreciate that. Mongold well out of position. Everyone else trying to find their way back into the right positions. Zach Meredith in fourth. He's led the most laps so far today, and now he's got fresh tires to fight. And Reynolds knows the pressure is on. Here comes Meredith, and caution comes out before Mongold will lose the race lead. Trying to gather a good look here as to what happened. Not seeing a lot of good information on tap here. So let's give it a solid look. Go up to our spotter cam, see what we can find. Is it Donaldson that gets loose? Not there. There's Casey Weiser in the 00. Somebody gets in trouble here, and we're trying to figure out who that would be. Three wide doesn't work very often, and that's why it was Dale Markowski. Car 33 in position 33. 2 laps down. But in the middle of a three-wide sandwich that just did not pan out. Some more pit stops underway. You're on lap 85, coming to lap 86. Teammates will be on the front row once again. Mongold and Reynolds, Meredith and Jones, Oberstadt and Sasek, your top 3 rows here, your top 6. As we get ready to go back racing once again. Unfortunately, kind of addressing some of the stuff in the live Twitch chat. Unfortunately, the part of the overlay that we typically use to track things like cautions and specific numbers, we don't have access to it at the moment. We won't have access until next Monday. So we're sort of just guesstimating. So if I lose count of the amount of cautions or certain statistics, unfortunately, we just don't have the information at hand because we don't have the system that typically does that for us. And obviously, doing this solo up here in the booth makes it very difficult to try to make up for that discrepancy. Green flag flies, though, on this restart. Mongold just enjoying the laps led as he can get them. He has led 9 laps tonight so far. Coming around here through turns 3 and 4, he will get to 10 laps led here in Thunder Valley. He is not running the bottom of the racetrack. He is more comfortable up near the top. Tommy Reynolds, though, loves the yellow line. And the 2 Dr. Pepper machines will swap places here with Reynolds now up front. Mongold in the fence. Here comes Byron Jones. And here comes Zach Meredith. Back up to 3rd place. Blake Henderson, who has got a really fast car underneath him as well, the 25 car, trying to get around Mongold, trying to get around Sasek as well, driving like he's on fire at the moment because of what happened with Chelsea Carter earlier in the race. He is someone that knows now more than ever that he's got a winning race car underneath of him. He's had a couple of really good race cars this season. This is one of the first times in a very long time where Henderson's got a winning race car. He gets around Sasek outside lane, moves up to 6th place. And it's going to get difficult. He's got to get around Mark Kissenweather, who will not make it easy. Patrick Oberstadt, really good here as well at Bristol, is going to make it difficult. He's got to outmuscle him. And thankfully for Henderson, he's got time. This is not a situation where there's not a lot of time. He's got plenty of time to pick drivers off at the moment and let things fall to him. If he's got the car that's as dominant as it is right now and that has come to life the way it has so far, he is going to be in an okay spot. The question is, after everything he's already been through in the first 95 laps, how much patience does he have in the tank at the moment? He peaks outside of Kissenweather, who will not challenge him too awful hot. And Henderson, in a blink of an eye, goes from 6th to 5th around last season's Rookie of the Year. Remember, Stage 2 ends on lap 125. That's bottom left of your screen. It's a very slow pit lane here. So everyone trying to avoid green flag pit stop, if at all possible. There is a stage break coming up on lap 125 that should safely get drivers the rest of the way through this race. However, cautions will be the determining factor in the intervention that we see so often. Henderson tags the wall, getting around Patrick Oberstadt. Dangerous play, but you know how much Henderson wants it, knowing where his car is at the moment. You just don't want to throw that car away, though, at the moment. Every time you hit the wall, it's a borrowing of time. You get a second chance. Occasionally you get a third chance. Very rarely will you get a 4th chance to survive something like that. Caution's out. And it is for Alfred Denny and Tucker Sawyer, it looks like, that got together. What happened to Alfred Denny? I don't know if he got together with Sawyer or if Sawyer just was part of it. He got turned by an ascent car. We were partially right on that, but it was Eli Sasek. And there's Sawyer plowing into it. Not a lot of place to go there. And Alfred Denny, despite having a very good race a couple weeks ago at Pocono, is not going to have the same time here at Bristol so far. He is still running, but not a pleasant feeling in that 21 car. Byron Jones leads the way for Coast to Coast Racing. Zach Meredith right there behind him. For those watching us alongside Monday Night Football, the Dolphins lead the way over the Steelers 3-0, but it's still early doors as they come to conclude the first half. They're in Pittsburgh. So Byron Jones will lead the way to this restart here. Less than 25 laps to the end of stage number 2. Henderson P3, he's in a really good spot. Inside lane, row 2. Patrick Oberstadt in 4th. Mark Kissenweather, Bryn Roberts, Hunter Peach, Bailey Thompson, Chad Swatsworth, Caitlin Height in your top 10. Zach Apperson, Chelsea Carter, those 2 cars officially out here. They are the only 2 cars listed as out, giving us 36 cars still running. And 31 cars on the lead lap from Byron Jones to Brady Smith. As the pace car pulls in for this upcoming restart, it is in the control of the coast-to-coast teammates. And they time it well. Green flag flies once again in Thunder Valley. Here comes Henderson. He knows he's faster in the long run over Meredith. How much does he press that envelope right now? Blake Henderson right now, the 25 car, has got one of the best long-run cars in the field. With the cautions we've had, though, he's not had a significant chance to show it. Battles Patrick Oberstadt for that 3rd spot as they roll through down the back straightaway. Kissenweather and Bryn Roberts also gridlocked. Henderson gets clears himself. Patrick Oberstadt gives him the space, and now is going to try to stay ahead of the 2 of Kissenweather, who can't quite get there. The Carolina Beagle cars, Team Ralph, 4th and 5th at the moment. They have been dominant this season. Open setups have changed some things, but Patrick Oberstadt remains one of the hot competitors, the commodities in the HTL Cup Series. Bryn Roberts, we know his consistency is up there as well. And look at this fight. Teammates trying to stay there. Henderson tags the wall big time. We talk about borrowed time. He got away with 2. Did he get away with a 3rd? Or did he fly too close to the sun? He lost the spot to Bryn Roberts. The opportunistic vulture in that 83 when he needs to be. Saw Icarus flying close. It was there to collect. Byron Jones will lose out, and Henderson returns to 3rd place. But you have to be concerned. Henderson beginning to lose some of the handling that has made that 25 car so strong. Running the outside lane, the aggressive strategy, running that outside lane, knowing there's not as much grip there, but knowing the top speed that you maintain in that upper groove is higher. Got around Bryn Roberts. Bryn Roberts did not put up much of a fight there. I think Bryn Roberts is very well aware that it's going to be Meredith versus Henderson, and if the 2 knock each other out, then there's no juggernauts in front of him. Meredith's led the most laps today. Henderson is the fastest. Unstoppable force meets unmovable object side by side, and Henderson is the one that gives way. contact with Meredith. He saves it, but out of the top 10 again. Second time tonight, down the 20th and dropping. As he tries to rejoin the field, he will rejoin in the 25th position. Overzealous and ambitious. And it bit him again. And the concern now for Henderson in that 25 car is losing focus and potentially throwing the car away altogether. He's gotten lucky on 4 separate occasions. How many times do you bite the hand that feeds you? He's got to keep it calm. He's got to keep it collected. A long race to go. We still have a stage break here in about 6 laps. He gets around one of the Ascent cars. That is Sawyer. He gets around. He moves up to 24th. Lily Frazier up next, who is not having a race following the results she received at Pocono. Sorry. At Kentucky. Kentucky and Sebring. My apologies. It's been a long month. Car in the fence is Byron Jones. That was in the fence, and Patrick Overstapp. And Elias Flores, a lot of latency issues there for him. Being passed now, that is by Josh Arnold and by Christina Ryan. Callie Height also not far away. And Flores knows he's just trying to stay out of the way as much as he can and hold on here. Patrick Oberstadt's in trouble. There is something damaged on the 88 car. From the top 10, from the top 3, he has dropped all the way down to 19th. And there is something amiss on that 88 car. He is genuinely off pace. There's a little bit of damage on that passenger side, so he has made contact with the wall at some point, and it has bit him. Byron Jones, likewise, falling backwards, but that is a pace issue. That is not a mechanical issue. He is falling back to the median of where his pace typically sits at the moment, where his average race pace is sitting at the moment, I should say. He is running 16.8. That is slower than everyone in the top 24. Henderson went down to 25th place, already back up into 18th. I was almost certain there was going to be a stage break here. We have passed lap 125 and there isn't one. So that may be on my mistake if there just wasn't a stage break announced for that. Which does make things more interesting. Brent Roberts leads the way over Zach Meredith, over Mark Kissenweather, Hunter Peach, and Bobby Blowers, your top 5 at the moment, as things currently sit. Got a correction that short tracks do not have the stage breaks. So super speedways and road courses that we know Daytona will. My head's confused because they used to, and then they moved to the heat format that was scrapped after Kern Raceway. So this is the first short track since Kern Raceway that we've seen on the calendar. And obviously, the new update has thrown everyone for a loop, the new update that we received, and then a follow-up update that came out today has put everyone behind the 8-ball for a loop. Longest green flag run so far of the night. Commentator's curse incoming. But we have passed the halfway point as everyone rolls around the racetrack here. Caitlin Height chasing down Bailey Thompson for 6th place as things sit at the moment. We encourage you to sit tight. If you are a subscriber to ABN on Twitch, you're going to enjoy ad-free coverage. You're going to continue to see the sights and sounds here from Bristol. There is an upcoming scheduled ad break that we are going to go ahead and take early now that we are in a soft spot in the coverage right now. That way it's out of the way and we can get through, hopefully, the rest of the race commercial-free. If you don't want to see the ads, it's about 3 minutes long, and caution comes out immediately. Okay. It's Cody Pennell. And he is backwards on the racetrack, and you see the skid marks for Cody Pennell. And checking to see if all 4 of those wheels are rolling, and they are. And he is just trying to get that car turned back around. He was in the worst possible spot. Let's see what happened to Cody Pennell. And we missed out just by a little bit. Let's go ahead and back that up about 15 seconds more if we could. Try to grab a bit of the lap before. You see the smorgasbord, everyone behind Olivia Pereira. And Swatsworth tried forcing it 3 wide, and that bit him pretty hard. Callie Height got a piece of it too in the 87. Nope. Let's go ahead and go back here. Take a look here at quarter speed. There you go. So AB in slow motion from the spotter cam up above. Olivia Pereira tags the wall. Swatsworth trying to be opportunistic here. Tries to shoot the gap between Mongold and Cody Pennell, but it's never completely on. Blake Henderson's right there behind. Gives Swatsworth a shove to get him through. And all of the accident happens up the racetrack. And Callie Height shouldn't have too awful much there in the 87 car. But unfortunately for Cody Pennell, he is significantly in trouble. And so we will take a second and we will step aside. We won't step aside for the ad break because unfortunately you will miss the restart if we take it now. So we'll wait for this restart to come through and see how things play out. But you have been warned, there is an upcoming 3-minute ad break incoming within the next 10 minutes, and there's not a whole lot we can do to stop it. Appreciate the subscriptions and the support that we've been shown, especially through the month of December here, the season of giving. You all have given us a lot over the last 5 years and change. Bren Robertson leads the way over Mark Kissenweather. As I mentioned before, there will be a point here after this upcoming restart where we will step aside for 3 minutes. For those that are subscribed to ABN or for those watching on demand on YouTube after the fact, enjoy the sights and sounds of the race, of the racetrack here at Bristol. For those that aren't subscribed, please stick around so we can get this out of the way and hopefully get the rest of your race in commercial free. That's what we want to do. And we're glad you're with us regardless. There's a lot of things you could be doing on your Monday night. Your support is greatly appreciated. It is also appreciated some of the talent on display here. Bren Roberts, one of those cars, very talented. Mark Kissenweather alongside of him. Going to try to duke it out. Different front runners tonight for this restart. And Roberts gets the advantage. Meredith in 3rd. Pacey Wygen, his first time top 5. He's 4th. Caitlin Height holds on to 5th at the moment. We'll see how it pans out. The pit stop, the caution there, just about everyone made a pit stop. So we should be good to go for the remainder of the race on fuel. Tires become the big question mark now as Bren Roberts leads the way. By Blowers, he has had an interesting race. So is Henderson behind him. So is Sharp. So is Steven Oberstadt, who is one of the short oval maestros in the HTL Cup Series. He is just now, for the second time tonight, broken into the top 10. His brother Patrick has been in the top 10 multiple times tonight. Now it is Steven's turn in that black Goodwrench number 3. Symbolic throwback to the legendary, the late, great Dale Earnhardt. Oberstadt trying to stay in the top 10, holding on to 8th place for dear life. Henderson gives him a little bit of a shot, pushes him up the racetrack. That is a bump and run. Look at that. Look at that. Henderson bump and run and will gain 2 spots potentially out of that. Got around Sharp, no problem. Steven Oberstadt received a pretty good shot, held on to it. They all got through. That was textbook. And Steven Oberstadt, textbook defending to recover from that and forcing Henderson to think again. Wild bump and run there. And you're going to see more of that as the race goes along. It won't always be that pretty. But for right now, that was pretty. And Henderson, despite that effort, ends up losing a spot to Bailey Thompson. So despite the great effort, A+ for effort, it got him nowhere. Lily Sharp gets loose on her own a couple laps later, though, and will give Henderson one of those spots back. He is back into the 10th spot. Wild. Absolutely wild. Trouble, Sharp. We talked about the issues with Sharp. Under caution again with less than 100 laps to go. And this is what happened. Got loose, tried to save it. Tries getting back into it here and just gets loose again, this time in front of Sasek. Swatsworth got loose on his own. So a couple of different accidents converging there. Byron Jones was involved in this as well, unfortunately for him. He was trying to maintain as good of a race as he could, knowing he is in a must-win spot. It does not pan out for him very well. So back to live pictures here. Unfortunately, we do not have a chance here to avoid the upcoming ad break, so we are going to miss this upcoming restart if you are watching live. If you're not watching this live, if you're watching this on YouTube on demand, welcome to the show and enjoy this upcoming restart. But here comes the ad break for those watching live on Twitch. Stay with us, and hopefully we get commercial free the rest of the way. Welcome back, everyone, to Thunder Valley, the HTL Cup Series Bristol 350, underway at the moment and under caution once again. During that ad break here, see if we can possibly grab some of that information for you as to who it might be. Unfortunately, I don't have that on hand at the moment. So unfortunately, we do not have a replay in the books to try to gather that for you. But pit stops are underway at the moment, under caution here in Bristol. Bren Roberts, Blake Henderson among those that stay out. There's a healthy amount that stay out. So Roberts and Henderson will lead the way over Hunter Peach and Bailey Thompson. Shad Swatsworth, Callie Height will be in your top 6 as we sit under caution. And for everyone that has been a part of the event tonight, we appreciate it. Less than 100 laps, less than 90 laps to go. We're at 84 laps to go now at the line. All right, lights out on the pace car, which means we're about to go back racing here in Bristol. You see information on the left side of your screen. We have gotten through the first 2 stages. Stage 3 is where we're at to try to score all the big points and figure out who's going to win here in Tennessee. Bren Roberts chose the outside lane. Not very often we see that. I think first time tonight we've seen the outside lane be the preferred choice for the race leader. Blake Henderson, bottom of the racetrack. Green flag flies, and away we go. Roberts around the bumper. Sorry, Henderson on the bumper of Roberts. Bailey Thompson up to 3rd. Hunter Peach in 4th. So some changes in position there on the restart. But it is a melee further back. A lot of cars out of position. Split pit stop strategies now in play. Flowers far up outside lane. No avail there. Trying to battle with Casey Wygen and Caitlin Height. Callie Height just falling backwards. Bristol, not one of her favorite tracks. Restarted in the top 10 and is in the process of being shuffled out. And just like that, Callie Height will drop out of the top 10 down to the 12th spot. Very close fight up here. Hunter Peach back up to 3rd. And just gets clear of Bailey Thompson. Trouble Roberts. Right in front of our cameras there. Bren Roberts in a lot of trouble, and the field scatters mid-corner. What happened to Bren Roberts? We're going to get a look. The two are battling at the front of the field. We know how aggressive Henderson's been driving tonight, trying to get to the front of the field. No contact there between the 25 and the 83. Roberts just got loose and got pile drove by his team boss and by Bailey Thompson. Cody Pennell, another teammate for Carolina Beagle Racing, gets thrown in there. And so what was supposed to be a really good race for the team went south in a very quick moment. And Henderson is the benefactor of that, but again, no contact between those two. Excuse me. And again, we'll take another look here as the two race leaders battled it out. Yeah, no contact there. Roberts just got loose out of turn 2. And Callie Hack also got a piece of it there. You saw a little bit of that too. Everyone trying to scramble. Not what you want to see by any stretch of the imagination, and unfortunately that is where they're at. Bryn Roberts doing his best just to stay on the lead lap. Meanwhile, Blake Henderson leads the way over Hunter Peach, and Zach Meredith has returned to the top 3 ahead of Tommy Reynolds, Pacey Wygent, and Caitlin Height, your top 6. For this upcoming restart. Again, we don't have a full firm count as the amount of cautions, so we're just kind of going with it here. It is Henderson and Peach at the front of the field for this upcoming restart. Green flag flies, some wheel spin further back. That was Chad Swatch with that at a step out of line. But everyone keeps it going in the right direction. And so green flag flies, and there's no immediate interruption. Henderson leads the way. Peach trying to give chase. He has had a season to forget in the number 20. A season where he has felt like the fourth chair at Newfound Glory Motorsports, the NFG Motorsports team. He is almost in a must-win position at this point. He has been outside the top 16 all season long. He is, again, someone that a race win would assure him a playoff spot. And the same cannot be said for Tommy Reynolds, Caitlin Height. They're trying to play spoiler. They got ahead of Zach Meredith, 2-time race winner this season, who has looked really good here at Bristol. But Henderson has had the fastest car. He had a fast car at Kentucky, couldn't do a lot with it. Had a really fast car at Charlotte. It has been the bad news bears for Tombstone Motorsports as a whole, notwithstanding the 2 race wins for Bailey Thompson and for Zach Apperson. Talked to Henderson following Kentucky, and he lamented the missed chances. There's a couple races that didn't go his way, and it was his own unraveling there. Then there's races like Kentucky where not a whole lot anyone can do there in that situation. Texas, another one. Atlanta, he regrets the most. Had a chance to win at his home racetrack, made the wrong move, made a judgment call that didn't pan out, and ended up last car lead lap. going into this race thinking just about this race. Not thinking about points, not thinking about the playoffs that loom in the very, very near distance. One race at a time became the mindset after he failed to finish top 10 through practically the entire first 7 races. It was a hard time. And caution has come out, and I believe it is for Eli Sasic, and it is. So caution back out, and he will tow. This is Eli Sasic. Before his race came to an unfortunate close. What happened to the Ascent Racing team owner? Starts in front of him, Lily Frazier, and that's unfortunate there. Obviously, his teammate clobbers into him, but not holding the brakes and rolling back onto the racetrack is not going to look well when the HTL officials look at that after the race. Another look at the replay. Frazier and Swatsworth is where the contact starts. And you see Frazier just left the door open. Swatsworth was not going to be denied that door. Yeah, and Sasic just rolls right back up the racetrack, right in front of, I think that was his teammate Brady Smith. And then Jason Scott goes in and finishes him off. Not what you want to see. And his day practically done. In every traditional sense. With less than 60 laps to go. Green flag flies and away we go. Emerson leads the way over Hunter Peach with 55 laps to go at the start finish line. Caitlin Height up to third. Around Tommy Reynolds. Marcus Weather in the top 5. I'd like to do around the throughout the field, but I don't think we're going to have this time and space to do that without another caution coming in and interrupting us. Do want to highlight some of the race leaders so far tonight. And Blake Henderson and Hunter Peach, 59 laps since their last pit stop. They want to see this through to the end of the race. They have almost double the amount of laps on their tires as anybody else in the field. Blake Henderson, we've got to the 100 to 200 lap point, and as soon as I try to go through the field, caution comes out, and I believe it is Gary Donaldson. It is. He's trying to get that car back up and running. and will do so before the pace car gets around him, so he will stay on the lead lap. But that car, worse for wear. So here's what happened to Gary Donaldson. His car already carrying a little bit of damage. He's been nursing that car around. Again, on the lead lap, so he's battling for position here. Gets around to Alfred Denny, who is not on the lead lap at all. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, and that's where the shoe drops. Donaldson tries to avoid it, and unfortunately can't. It starts in front of him, but he ends up getting a piece of it. And I do want to take a second to go back and look and sort of how that panned out. It's going to be Tucker Sawyer is going to be where the focus starts here. And he gets a little bit of help from Josh Arnold. Casey Wygen gets a piece of it as well. Alfred Denny gets a piece of it too. Really, Dustin Hall maybe gets a piece of it, but not much. Josh Arnold not on the lead lap, 6 laps down compared to Sawyer and Donaldson on the lead lap, and Wygen. So very interesting to see how that played out. And again, those at the front of the field, Henderson, Peach, Height, Kissenweather, and Thompson all stayed out. So Henderson will lead the way, and he chooses the outside lane this time. As we get ready to go back racing. Here in Bristol, it's Henderson, Peach, Height, Kissenweather, and the green flag flies. Away we go. Henderson leads, and comfortably so at the moment, despite the age on those Goodyear tires he's got on him right now. 66 laps and counting. Him and Hunter Peach both maintain first and second. Peach just gave up the inside lane to Kissenweather, trying to hold on to position as best he can. He does so. But can they hold on for another 45 laps? That'll push them well into the 100-lap marker. And we've not seen anyone take a set of tires that far yet. We're already in uncharted water with Henderson and Peach going over 70 laps as things are currently slated to go. Car in the fence further back, Flores. In the fence, but not in the way. So not going to be an overall large issue there. Henderson trying to control the pace. Hunter Peach looking like he's got a little bit in the tank of that number 20 car. Kissenweather looking around the racetrack for grip, not really finding it. Under threat now from Caitlin Height. You see that in the background there. As Henderson leads, he is also deviated away from the bottom of the racetrack. That has worked so well for so many drivers tonight. Henderson trying to maintain average mile per hour here, trying to keep momentum up in this sort of circumstance. And trouble for Zach Meredith in the 17 car. That car is still rolling. But something has happened to Zach Meredith. What happened to Zach Meredith here? Does he get help? No. Gets loose. He was bound to Shad Swatsworth and just got sideways. Locks it up. But he obviously loses a lot of time. Doesn't draw a caution. And no trouble. Christina Ryan gets turned. That was by Meredith, and the caution comes out there. Peach got around Henderson for the race lead, and Christina Ryan and Zach Meredith make contact, with Ryan going all the way around. And this is just Christina Ryan. And Christina Ryan, obviously a lot of damage on the 80 car already from earlier in the race. Just gets turned around. It looked like she was trying to get off the racing line, but Meredith had already committed to the inside lane of the racetrack. See if we can get a bit of a better look here. Yeah, she's wounded. She's slower. She's off the pace at the moment. Already a lap down, about to go 2 laps down here. Just tries to commit to the bottom of the racetrack, but Meredith, not knowing that, tries to shoot the gap, and it just doesn't work. And that's unfortunate, but ultimately not the most harmful caution out there. Christina Ryan didn't get a lot more damage there, neither did Meredith. But because both of them are involved, neither will get the free pass. And Henderson, I believe, does come down pit lane. He did come down pit lane. A lot of cars did. Hunter Peach stayed out. So did Caitlin Height. Those 2 cars are only 2 cars now with more than 50 laps on their tires. Reynolds, Swatsworth, Pinnell, Smeal, Jones all stay out but have less than 25 laps on their tires. Everyone else just came down pit lane for some fresh Goodyear Eagles to try to get to the end of this race, which means we're about to have an interesting finish. For those watching live, we appreciate the raid. We appreciate the support you've given us so far tonight. Coming to about 32 laps to go, if my numbers serve me well. Peach, Height, Swatsworth, Reynolds, Smeal, your top 5. Pinnell, Henderson, Jones, Flores, and Kissenweather, your top 10. As the pace car takes the rough jump down to pit lane, the green flag flies and away we go. Peach got clear. Height didn't challenge that. See how that stays. Remember, the 61 and the 20, oldest tires in the field. Henderson realized he was on the wrong strategy and diverted that. And it is working so far. He's already back up into the top 6. Make that working into the top 5. Getting around David Smeal Jr. Swatsworth now in his wake. And Swatsworth, I don't think, is going to have a lot to contest here with Henderson on those fresher tires. Henderson driving possessed. He knows exactly where he's at. He knows he's got his best chance to win a race for the first time in HTL, his home competition in over 3 years. 3 race wins, all of them in Season 2, prior to ABN taking you on as broadcaster. It has been a very long drought that he has thought about a lot. He has lamented it a lot. Reynolds tags the wall behind him. Henderson with fresh Goodyear Eagles taking on the winningest driver in HTL Cup Series history, and Caitlin Height. Outside lane clear. Coming to 25 laps to go. And he has had to work for it. Hunter Peach just about took all of it away. A big wiggle for Hunter Peach. Gives Henderson the lead. He has a tire advantage. He has a pace advantage. And now, for a brief moment, he has clean air. Kissenweather couldn't follow him. Neither could Thompson or Mongold. And Henderson's going to try to do something he's tried to do so many times but couldn't, and that is try to set sail and look for the checkered flag. Coming to 21 laps to go, Christina Ryan gets out of Dodge in a heartbeat. And for fair reason. Leaders coming up pretty quickly, all of them fighting for something. With 20 laps to go. Next time by. HTL in Season 2, the last time Blake Henderson won a race in HTL, averaged 22 cars a race. About half of a field now in HTL, as it has been for the most part over the last 4 seasons. Henderson's won once on ABN screens. He won the ABN Daytona 500 in the Gen 4 machine, a 39-car field there. But the HTL Cup Series, his home series, has been his pariah for over 3 years. A lot of changes, a lot of people coming and going from HTL, a lot of people coming back. A lot of journeys. Blake Henderson, one of those longtime constants. He's only missed 2 races ever in HTL. Got around Jason Scott and has put over a second on the nearest contender at the moment. Caitlin Height looking and will be left wanting for another race win to extend her record as HTL's winningest driver. Hunter Peach trying to hold on to the best possible result in a night that has been full of intrigue and mystery and frustration and anger. He has survived when he needed to, and that has been a struggle for the 20 team this season. Kissenweather in 4th, and caution has come out. And it's for the 87 of Callie Height. And we will take a strong look as to what happened here to the 87. How much help did she receive? Latency will do that. Got forced 3 wide, a lot of latency. Gets turned off the nose of Blowers, gets turned into the path of Ross Baxter. Some trouble further on down the road. Looks like Byron Jones and Zach Meredith got a piece of it as well. And we'll take a look here. This is Zach Meredith to see if he got a piece of it. And indeed, they both did. So latency at a very inopportune time forces the restart Blake Henderson didn't want to see. Henderson, Caitlin Height, row 1 on this restart. Hunter Peach, Mark Kissenweather, row 2. Bailey Thompson, Tommy Reynolds, row 3. Austin Mongold, Davis Miller Jr., row 4. Cody Pinnell, Elias Flores, row 5. Pit stops happening. Some drivers trying to give one last gasp. Let's try to figure something out here. Less than 10 laps to go. Because this is Bristol, we will throw the reminder that we do have overtime. We have 3 attempts at an overtime finish here in the HTL Cup Series. What is overtime? It is an attempt to finish this race under green. You get 2 laps. The green flag, the next lap is the white flag, and then the finish. If you get to the white flag, the race is official. The race finishes from there. If you do not see the white flag and you get a caution, we rack them up and give it another go. Caitlin Height dropping to the back of the field. And I'm not entirely understanding why. And it looks like Caitlin Height's coming down pit lane with the pace car. The green flag flies with 9 laps to go. And this is going to be Mark Kissenweather's best chance to try to hold on and do something. Hunter Peach stands firm. Caitlin Height out of the podium conversation. Bailey Thompson, 4th, not far away. Tommy Reynolds, top 5. 7 laps to go. Do we see this race end under green? That is the question. And we're going to have overtime. That is a guarantee. And it is Byron Jones in a big way. Turned around backwards against the outside wall. Replay coming up on your screen now. Byron Jones in the Hornet's nest. Trying to find his way through. Car already beat up pretty bad. Willie Frazier tried to force it 3 wide, sends Ross Baxter for a spin before being put into the wall with Byron Jones, the unfortunate victim there. He does get rolling in a pretty quick way, so pretty good work there. So unfortunately, that does mean that we do have overtime here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We do want to give you a reminder, there's one more regular season race next Monday, the Firecracker 400, the regular season finale that leads us into Christmas and New Year's. Playoffs begin in 2026 with the Southern 500 on January 5th, HTL at the Glen on January 12th, and then the Alabama 400 at Talladega on January 19th. The nerves are palpable here in Bristol. Blake Anderson looking to try to break a winless route over 3 years in the making. Hunter Peach fighting for his chance to fight for a championship. Mark Kissenweather looking to break a smaller winless route. Bailey Thompson looking to grab a second career victory in the HTL Cup Series. Tommy Reynolds looking to add to his HTL resume with a race win. He starts 5th alongside Austin Mongold, who's still looking for his first. 38 starters, and we've had several fall to the wayside throughout this race. The race continues. This is not an overtime restart. Lap 249 underway. A natural green-white checkered. Do we get to the white flag? Cars in the fence already. Henderson wants to see the white flag. Does he get it? Yes, he does. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Presented by Southern Cleaning Company. Less than half a mile to break a drought. 3 years in the making. Blake Henderson wins in Thunder Valley. Henderson wins in Thunder Valley. Bailey Thompson grabs 2nd, and Mark Kissenweather grabs 3rd to round out the podium. The drought is over. The longest winless drought of any driver with a race win. The drought is over. And Henderson gets to burn it down at the last great Coliseum. Emotional moment for Blake Henderson. As he burns it down. September 5th, 2022, at Talladega. The last time Henderson won a race. He won 3 races in that season. He won at Indianapolis. He won at Phoenix, back-to-back earlier in the season. Then had a very bad midseason slump, and ultimately was not championship contending when he won at Talladega. Tonight, that changes. For the first time in 1,197 days, Blake Henderson is an HTL Cup Series race winner. He burned it down on the start-finish line, and here is the Polish victory lap, made famous by Alan Kowicki. The drought ends. And Henderson will be contending for a championship in the new year. We'll hear from our race winner and our podium finishers and more after this short break. Stay tuned here from Thunder Valley. ABN Studios covering HTL Cup Series action continues after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Bristol Motor Speedway. We're trying to get everything working here. I don't think we're going to quite get there, unfortunately. We were trying to get the slow motion stuff going. That is just not going to be the case. But outstanding nonetheless from everyone involved here. Blake Henderson, your race winner here tonight in Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll go over the results here tonight. We had an outstanding race. Blake Henderson, Bailey Thompson, Mark Kissenweather, Hunter Peach, and Tommy Reynolds, your top 5 here tonight. Austin Mongol, Bobby Blowers, Cody Pinnell, Bren Roberts, Elias Flores, rounding out your top 10 as things stand. Pacey Wygant outside the top 10, just barely, along with David Spiel Jr. And they have Shad Swatsworth, John Matthews in 14th, Ross Baxter, Lily Frazier, Gary Donaldson, Byron Jones, Callie Height, and Zach Meredith rounding out your top 20. Tucker Sawyer, Jason Scott, Caitlin Height, and Josh Arnold, your top 24. Christina Ryan, your last finisher of this race that took the checkered flag. Richard Odie III were the first of the DNFs. There were multiple in this race. Olivia Pereira, Dustin Hall, Stephen Oberstadt, Josh Susi, Dale Markowski, Lily Sharp, Eli Sasek, Brady Smith, Alfred Denny, Patrick Oberstadt, Chelsea Carter, and Zach Apperson all out of this race. A phenomenal win for Blake Henderson. Much needed result. I'm not sure if we're going to hear from Mark Kissenweather or not. We will start the party, though, with our race winner, who has had a brief moment to let it sink in that for the first time in 1,197 days, 3 years, 3 months, and 1 week. Blake Henderson, you are a race winner in the HTL Cup Series, the series that you have called home for the better part of the last 5 years. Walk us through the emotion and walk us through that blistering race car you had that was hard to catch up even on the best of days.
I don't even know where to start. I mean, God, my winless streak was as long as Roman Reigns' title reign. Jesus Christ. First, I gotta thank everyone at Tombstone, man. They believed in me. They stuck with me for so long, even though I didn't show a whole lot of competitiveness and race winning speed a lot of times. But they kept my head in the game for the last 3 years. And I gotta thank all those guys: Gary, Zach, Dustin, Bailey, Alfred. Christina has been a fantastic addition to the team. Dustin made a blistering fast set. I had no confidence going into the night. We were all sorts of messed up going in, but we kept digging and we kept going at it. And I gotta thank I haven't done one of these in a while. Sorry. I gotta thank Sydney. She watches every race. My dad watches every race. Coley Hockman Productions and Blankenship Freight Lines. They've been great partners for the team. It just felt like we couldn't get anything right tonight. Didn't feel like it was meant to be. Got spun from the lead. Then I made a mistake trying to go for the lead. And I was overdriving trying to go from the back to the front, and I wasn't sure of the pit call, but Dustin and Bailey were sure of it, so I trusted them. And that last pit, that's what got us the win, was having the fresh tires.
It worked out in a phenomenal way. Obviously, again, the last time you won an HTL Cup Series race, September 5th, 2022. We talked about, and we've talked so much over the last, obviously, off camera about the near misses that have been, what could have been several races in almost every season. There's been a couple that stick out as the what could have been. There were so many this season. At your home race at Atlanta, Kentucky being another one just 2 weeks ago. Just feeling that deflating feeling of having a car so close but so far away. And it's, as you mentioned, it seemed like you were setting up for that again. That being said, this race, now that you have it added to your collection, where does this one rank as far as the race wins you have in your career, given the journey you've had to go through in between those race wins?
Oh, this is by far number one. I mean, I mean, you get to a point in these winless streaks where like I wasn't sure I'd ever be able to win again. Like I thought maybe I could win a plate race, but I just didn't think I had the speed on a skill track like this. And I don't know, my team kept believing in me. Dustin kept making super fast sets. I can't thank him and Team Conti Sim Performance enough. They make the best setups in all of iRacing. Like if I can win a race on one, anyone can. Yeah, I remember you telling me a long time ago in the midst of this winless streak that I need to set my expectations a little lower to be a little bit more realistic. And I started doing that, and look at where it got me. So, yeah, I mean, just winning Bristol, I love Bristol. I didn't think Bristol loved me, but winning Bristol under the lights, I mean, it can't get much better than that. I mean, I know it sucks having pain over and over and over again, but man, yeah. In the beginning when it was shorter fields and I won 3 races in the season, I don't think I quite enjoyed them or appreciated them as much as I should have. I appreciate it now because I felt like I really defended some of the best that HTL's ever had to offer with Peach and Katie and Meredith. I mean, I had to fight all night long, and it finally all came together.
The last time you won, it was a teammate 1-2. Zach Apperson pushed you to the win at Talladega back in 2022. Apperson got his race win at Talladega this season. And you get a teammate 1-2 tonight here at Bristol. Things come around in pretty interesting ways as things go. You're in the playoffs. You're playoff bound, regardless of what happens at Daytona on next Monday. Now being in this position, how do you feel going into the playoffs, knowing that you've done something that you have not done in the playoff era in HTL, and that is have a race win going in?
I tell you, Daytona isn't quite as stressful now. I mean, like you said, it was awesome having Bailey finish second and Tombstone 1-2. This is the best Tombstone's ever been. This has been amazing. 3 wins, 3 different winners, and we're looking to at least get 3 into the playoffs now. That's awesome. This gives me a lot of confidence because I feel like one thing I've struggled with especially with these fast cars that Dustin and Team Conti Sim Performance have been providing us, is how to race in the top 5 and how to race as a leader and how to get the wins, because it's a different animal racing in the top 5 and top 3 consistently. It's not the same as, running 15th. Now that I feel like I finally got that monkey off my back, I definitely have a lot more confidence going into the playoffs. I like a lot of the tracks in the playoffs, so I mean, we're hoping to at least get a champion, or to get into the championship and see what we can do from there. But obviously the round of 16 is going to be hard. We're focused on that, but right now I'm just and we won. Like, holy shit, I don't know. I can't believe we won, man. Like, oh man.
We're going to let you celebrate. You have a lot to celebrate here in what has been a wild year, not only for HTL, but for you individually. And you get to cap it all off, the end of the year with your first race win in over 3. Before we let you go, obviously you shout out some people. Before we let you go, if there's anyone else you want to shout out, the floor is yours. Congratulations for your first win. And what felt like in a millennia, you no longer have the longest winless route in HTL. That resets to 0, effective tonight. Blake, take it away.
Hey, we finally got to talk as a winner and a points-paying win. It finally happened in ABN. Oh my God. Once again, thank the Blankenship Freight Lines, Coley Hockman Productions, everyone at Tombstone, Alfred, Dustin, Gary, Zach, Bailey, Christina. They've all been amazing. Yeah, thank you for broadcasting. I always think it's really weird when people thank you for broadcasting, but I really mean it. You do a fantastic job, and HTL wouldn't be where they are today without you. So thank you for everything you've done. And honestly, thank you to everyone in HTL for showing up every week. It's crazy to me that 30 plus people take the time out of their weeks every single week to come race in my little silly racing league. So it's pretty cool. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Like, oh my God, I feel like an idiot.
Well, you can feel like whatever you want to feel like. You are a winner here in HTL. It moons apart from season 2. In season 7, Blake Henderson, a race winner here at Bristol. He conquers Thunder Valley. Blake, go celebrate. We'll talk to your teammate next, and hopefully we get to see more of what Tombstone has to offer at Daytona in 7 days' time. Enjoy it.
Hold on, I got to do it. I won there, so I have to do it. In the Dale Jr. car. It's Bristol, baby. Let's go.
Phenomenal stuff for Blake Henderson. His 4th career HTL Cup Series win comes here in Bristol, and he is in the playoffs going into the new year. We do move right on along to Bailey Thompson.
Hello.
I had to sneeze there real quick for a second. I'm allergic to the success that you're beginning to put together here. A race win, good pace tonight as well. Blake, obviously your teammate, talked about the pace that he had didn't have the confidence in, but it came together, and it came together in a big way. 2nd place here at Bristol, a track that has traditionally been horrendous for you, statistically speaking. Walk us through your race, because you had to make some pretty gutsy moves at the end to get up to that 2nd spot.
Oh yeah. First, just major props to Blake. I'm so happy for him. But that race was just so much about attrition and survival. And I just, had to keep telling myself in my head, be patient, be patient, be patient. And obviously that car was a rocket ship. So once I found my lane in the middle, I was just on rails. So I know I definitely had to dice up a few people, which was a little scary considering here and knowing me with close racing. But thankfully, I don't think I caused too many incidents, and it's a pretty clean car in P2. I'm so happy.
Obviously, you needed this result. It did not go well at Sebring with everything that happened there. This result helps you a lot. You don't want to have to rely on the wild card to try to get into the playoffs, but you have that in your back pocket. Walk us through what it's like being a part of the Tombstone team. This is a team that has been very absent of success. We talk about season 2 a lot. That was their best season. You've got a race win. Apperson has a race win. And now so does Blake Henderson. 3 race wins this season. Obviously, open setups change a lot. What is the feeling going on as far as your perspective on the team going into the playoffs, knowing that there's 3 cars capable of winning races any week?
I just can't be more than happy. It is one of the greatest feelings I've felt in a very long time. Everybody at Tombstone is working just so hard to get their car right, to help each other, and I think that's a really big thing this season compared to last season. Was we are helping each other, we are keeping each other in check, we are giving each other advice. Like, even with that call, coming to those final 50 laps, it was Blake, me, and just kind of asking back and forth, hey, do we pit now, do we pit here, and just getting advice from what our teammates are seeing. So communication has been so huge for us, and I cannot be more than thrilled to see how fast we're going and how much pace we're showing week in, week out.
A team 1-2 once again this season. It's Bailey Thompson, 2nd place here at Bristol. 1 spot away from grabbing a 2nd career HTL Cup Series win. Don't do that so quick. Let me actually enjoy not having to talk to you as a race winner for a little bit more. That being said, I know the team's going to be celebrating a lot here. Blake getting his first win in over 1,100 days, 1,197 for those that were keeping track. I was, because I'm a hater. Before we let you go and let you join the celebrations, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours, Bailey. Congrats on the drive, surviving and almost conquering Thunder Valley.
Yep, of course. Thank you, Carmen. Obviously, first, I want to shout out my dad. I know, obviously, no longer with us, but I'm sure he will be very proud of my recent success. I especially want to shout out Blake. I just cannot be more than, I was yelling, screaming when he crossed that line. I didn't even care about my finish. I was just so happy to see him finally get that checkered flag. I know it means so much to him, so to see him get it was awesome. Everybody at Tombstone, Gary, Christina, Dustin, Alfred, Zach, just everybody there. Nate Blankenship for sponsoring these cars. I want to also thank you, Carmen, for these awesome broadcasts. It's just so cool. I can, the next day go back and see elite commentary of my funny little performance every week. So it's very glad to have you here week in, week out broadcasting for us.
A lot of fun tonight, a lot of chaos tonight here. Bailey Thompson, second place, looking pretty good going into Daytona with one more chance to grab some playoff points before the playoffs begin in the new year. Bailey, enjoy it. Go celebrate with the team, and hopefully we get to talk to you again next Monday.
Yep, thank you. It's Bristol, baby.
And we move on along to Mark Kissenweather, who was on the right strategy, just didn't have the track position when it mattered the most. Mark, walk us through that race and just how you break that down. You had a car that was hard to beat, hard to pass, but walk us through that race just overall in general.
I just had to keep my car under me. I had that big moment somewhere in the middle of the race where I made an adjustment and it was too much. And so I had to go back and try to figure out what I could do to make my car just a tick better than what everybody else seemed to have. I don't know what I was doing wrong. I felt like I could keep up with everybody, but then just slowly lost it throughout the run. But luckily enough, there was a bunch of quick cautions at the end, and I just pitted with Blake, and it helped me get by everybody else that was on the older tires.
For you, it's obviously grabbing that race win early. This has sort of just been grab as many bonus points as you can. That being said, it seems like things have gotten a little bit more difficult in the open setup, sort of stance of things. We know your car's quick regardless of what you have under it. That being said, going into the playoffs, how confident do you feel getting regrouped and putting on that challenge that you were really denied last season?
Yeah, I just want to get into the championship this year with my absolutely horrible performance last year. Just gonna try not to make any stupid mistakes when it actually matters, and just keep trying my best to be there at the end. I know I kind of stink at stage racing and getting stage points, but I always focus on trying to be there at the end to get a good finish.
So far, it has worked for you here. Obviously, contending for the regular season championship as that goes. It's been you, Bryn Roberts, Patrick Oberstadt, back and forth, you three, all season long. Another third place helps that out significantly. Obviously, Bryn Roberts in trouble. Patrick Oberstadt had issues tonight, so you have a little bit of a buffer now going into Daytona. Your teammates need a little bit of help. Obviously, Chad Swansworth won Daytona earlier this season. Josh Arnold, currently the odd one out. How big is the emphasis on trying to get him a race win at Daytona?
Yeah, I think we're gonna focus on getting him a win for next week, or just any of us three, just to win. Really, we're here to win. So any of us three would winning, but mostly gonna focus on getting Josh a W for the playoffs.
Josh Arnold is in a must-win position. Mark Kissenweather, finishing third tonight, already has race wins. So does Chad Swansworth, winning the season opener at Daytona earlier this season as well. Mark, before we let you go and let you obviously enjoy the rest of your Monday and the rest of the week coming up here, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on, again, another phenomenal performance from the number 2 team.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Coulter's Cards, JonesPND.com, Go Times Cards, and Militia Racing Club for the great setups.
Outstanding work tonight. Back-to-back podiums from Sebring to Bristol. Very difficult racetracks. Mark Kissenweather, good at both of them. On the podium once again, P3 tonight here in Thunder Valley. Mark, congratulations, and hopefully we get to talk to you next week as well in Daytona.
All right, thank you.
And that will do it from us here in Bristol. I almost said Daytona. Daytona's next week. It's been a long, long day, but we're glad we're here, and we're glad you're with us for what has been just an electric event. Obviously, Blake Henderson, race winner here tonight. An outstanding job for him. I mean, the circus moves on to the World Center of Racing next Monday for the Firecracker 400. The regular season finale coming up in 7 days' time. We're glad you're with us. Through technical difficulties, through rain, through shine, through snow, through frigid cold, HTL and ABN always delivers. We'll see you next Monday at Daytona. On behalf of everyone here for HTL, for the HTL Cup Series, all of its partners, and everyone here at ABN Studios, I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay warm. And we'll see you in Florida in 7 days.